This is one of the most interesting companies on the ASX right now. It used to be seen mainly as a warehouse and logistics property business, but today, a big part of the story is data centers, artificial intelligence, and power. Goodman now has a 6 gigawatt secured power bank globally. That power is valuable because data centers do not just need land, they need reliable electricity, grid access, and years of planning. At the same time, Goodman's share price has pulled back from its peak. So the question is simple. Is this a rare chance to buy a high-quality ASX compounder at a better price? Or is the market warning us that the AI data center story is already priced in? Today, we'll break down Goodman's results, business model, risks, valuation, and what to watch next.
Before we do though, quick disclaimer. Nothing in this video is financial advice. I'm not a licensed advisor. This is purely educational. Do your own research. Talk to a professional if you need to. All right, let's go.
Goodman's half-year 2026 result looked a bit soft at first glance. Operating profit came in at $1.2 billion, down 1.5% on the prior corresponding period. Operating earnings per share fell 8.3% to 58.5 cents. Normally, that would worry the market, and it did. The share price fell around 6 to 7% on result day. But the important detail is this. Management kept full-year guidance unchanged. They still guided to 9% operating EPS growth for full year 2026. So the key message is not that the pipeline disappeared. The issue is timing. Goodman recognizes development profit when assets are completed and handed over. So if completions are weighted more to the second half, the first half numbers can look weaker than the full year picture. The big number to watch is the development work in progress, $14.4 billion, with 73% in data centers. That is the pipeline the market wants to see converted into earnings. To understand Goodman, we need to understand the flywheel. First, Goodman acquires land. Not just any land, but urban infill sites and powered sites that are useful for logistics facilities or data centers. Second, it develops the asset. That means designing and building facilities for customers, often with leases agreed before or during development. Third, once the asset is completed, Goodman can transfer it into one of its managed funds. Goodman usually keeps a minority stake, so it still has exposure to the asset. Then it earns management fees from the fund. And over time, the process can repeat. So Goodman is not just a landlord. It can make money as a developer, a fund manager, and a co-investor. That is why the model is powerful when the development pipeline is growing. Goodman has 3 main earning streams. The first is development. This is where Goodman builds assets and earns development profit. In full year 2025, development earnings were about $1.34 billion. The second is management. This is fee income from managing assets for institutional partners. In full year 2025, management earnings were $837 million. This part is important because it is more recurring than development profit. The third is investment. Goodman keeps minority stakes in some assets and funds, so it can benefit from rental income and asset value growth. So the simple version is this. Development drives growth. Management fees add recurring income. And investment gives Goodman long-term exposure to the assets it creates. Category 1. Growth. The big change at Goodman is the shift from traditional logistics property into digital infrastructure. The old Goodman was easier to understand. Warehouses, retailers, e-commerce customers. Land and zoning as the main constraints. That business still matters, but the growth story has changed. The new Goodman is increasingly linked to data centers, hyperscalers, AI compute, and power access. This is why the 6 gigawatt power bank matters. For data centers, power is not a small detail. It is one of the biggest bottlenecks. If you do not have power, you cannot build the data center, no matter how strong demand looks. That pivot has helped Goodman deliver strong earnings growth. Operating EPS grew at about 15.8% per year from FY21 to FY25. That is why the market does not value Goodman like a simple warehouse REIT anymore. The numbers show how strong the last 5 years have been. Operating profit increased from about $1.2 billion in FY21 to about $2.31 billion in FY25. That is a compound annual growth rate of roughly 17%. Operating EPS also grew strongly, from 65.6 cents to 118 cents. That works out to about 16% compound annual growth. For FY26, management is guiding to 9% EPS growth. That would be slower than the 5-year average, but still strong for a company of this size. The key question is whether the second half development completions are delivered on time. That is what will decide whether the guidance holds. Category 2. Quality. This slide is important because Goodman's cash flow can look confusing. Operating profit has grown strongly, but operating cash flow has not moved in the same straight line. At first, that can look like a red flag. But with Goodman, you need to understand the development model. When Goodman completes an asset and transfers it into a managed fund, it may recognize profit before that profit fully looks like simple cash flow in the way beginners might expect. So the cash conversion gap does not automatically mean the business is broken. It reflects a business that is reinvesting heavily into development and fund growth. Still, it is worth watching. The distribution has stayed flat at 30 cents per security, and the payout ratio is around 25%. That means Goodman is retaining most of its earnings to fund growth. For income investors, that may not be exciting, but for growth investors, it shows management is prioritizing reinvestment over higher dividends. Category 3. Moat. Goodman's competitive advantage comes from 3 areas. First, the powered land bank. Goodman has secured 6 gigawatts of power globally. In a world where data center demand is rising, power access is becoming one of the hardest things to replicate. Second, the own, develop, manage model. Goodman can develop assets, transfer them into managed funds, keep a minority stake, and earn ongoing management fees. A pure developer may only earn once. A pure landlord may mainly earn rent. Goodman can earn across several parts of the asset lifecycle. Third, capital partnerships. Goodman has major institutional partners and $72.1 billion of external assets under management. That gives it scale without needing to fund every project only from its own balance sheet. Together, these 3 advantages make the moat wider than a normal property business. But the moat depends on execution. If the data center pipeline slows, the market will test the story very quickly. Category 4. Market and runway. This is the heart of the Goodman story. Development work in progress is $14.4 billion. There are 57 development sites, and 73% of the pipeline is data centers. That tells us Goodman is not just making a small side bet on AI infrastructure. This has become a major part of the company's growth engine. The yield on cost is 8.1%, which is important because it tells us the expected return on development spend. If that number stays healthy, the pipeline can support future earnings growth. But if construction costs rise, power costs rise, or delays increase, that return can compress. The 6 gigawatt power bank gives Goodman optionality. Not all of it is already committed, but the more power that moves into active projects and signed leases, the more visible future earnings become. The assets under management story is the second part of the runway. Goodman's total portfolio has grown from $53 billion in FY21 to $85.6 billion in FY25. That is a much larger base for future management fees. There was a dip in external AUM around FY23 because of the NZX Trust internalization, but the broader portfolio kept growing. That matters because development earnings can be lumpy. Management fees are more recurring. So as the asset base grows, Goodman should have a larger base of fee income supporting the business. For beginners, this is the key idea. The pipeline creates development profit first. Then completed assets can grow AUM, and higher AUM can support more management fees over time. Category 5. Balance sheet. This is one of Goodman's strongest areas. Net debt was about $1.28 billion at FY25. Gearing was just 4.1%. That is very low for a property-related business. It is a big change from FY24, when gearing was 16.8%. The main reason was the $4.1 billion equity raise in FY25. Normally, investors worry about equity raises because they can dilute existing holders. But in this case, the raise was done at a premium to net tangible assets, and it strengthened the balance sheet for future growth. So Goodman now has a cleaner balance sheet and more flexibility to fund the pipeline. That is important because data center development is capital intensive. A strong balance sheet gives Goodman more room to execute. Category 6. Valuation. This is where the debate gets harder. At around $29.58, Goodman trades on roughly 25 times FY25 operating EPS. Using the FY26 guidance, the forward multiple is about 23 times. So yes, the stock is cheaper than it was at the peak, but it is not cheap in a normal property sector sense. The market is still pricing Goodman as a high-quality growth business, not a traditional REIT. Consensus target price is around $35.30, but this number should be rechecked before publishing because the upside changes quickly with the share price. Using the price shown on this slide, the implied upside is closer to about 19 to 20%. The key point is this. Goodman can justify a premium multiple if the data center pipeline converts into earnings. But if completions slip or hyperscaler demand slows, that premium can disappear quickly. Category 7. Management. Goodman is founder-led, and that matters. Greg Goodman has been central to the company's evolution from industrial property into a global logistics and data center platform. He also has meaningful ownership in the group, which helps align management with security holders. The capital allocation record has also been disciplined. The distribution has been held flat at 30 cents, which allows more earnings to be retained for development. The company has focused on organic development rather than large, risky acquisitions. And the FY25 equity raise strengthened the balance sheet at a time when Goodman is pursuing a very large development pipeline. That does not remove execution risk, but it does suggest management understands the importance of funding growth without letting leverage get out of control. For me, management is one of the stronger parts of the Goodman thesis. Now, the risks. The first risk is hyperscaler demand. 73% of Goodman's work in progress is data centers, so the pipeline is heavily tied to AI infrastructure spending. If Microsoft, Amazon, or other major tech customers slow their data center capex, Goodman's development timing could be affected. The second risk is development cost and power inflation. Data centers are expensive to build. They need power, cooling, land, grid connections, and long construction timelines. If costs rise faster than expected, development returns can shrink. That is why yield on cost is a key number to watch. If it moves meaningfully lower, the risk-reward starts to look less attractive. The third risk is valuation sensitivity. Goodman is still trading at a premium multiple. That means even a timing issue can hit the share price hard, as we saw after the HY26 result. So the thesis depends on execution, demand, and valuation all working together. Here is the honest bull case and bear case. The bull case starts with power. 6 gigawatts of secured power is not easy to replicate, especially when grid access is becoming a major bottleneck for data centers. Second, the pipeline is large. $14.4 billion of work in progress gives Goodman a visible growth pathway if projects are completed on time. Third, the balance sheet is strong. With gearing at just 4.1%, Goodman has flexibility to keep funding development. Now, the bear case. First, the company is increasingly exposed to hyperscaler capex. If AI infrastructure spending slows, Goodman's pipeline could slow too. Second, the valuation still leaves limited room for disappointment. 23 to 25 times earnings is not cheap. Third, cash flow can look weaker than profit because of the development and fund model. That may be acceptable, but investors need to understand it clearly. So the debate is not whether Goodman is a quality business. The debate is whether the current price gives enough margin of safety. Here is my scorecard. Growth gets 7.5 out of 10. The 5-year EPS growth has been excellent, but FY26 guidance is slower, so execution matters. Quality gets 7 out of 10. The business is high quality, but cash conversion needs to be understood carefully. Moat gets 8.5. The power bank, fund model, and institutional partnerships are hard to replicate. Runway gets 8. The data center pipeline is large, and the AI infrastructure theme still has momentum. Balance sheet gets 9. 4.1% gearing is a major strength. Valuation gets 6. The stock has derated, but it is still not cheap. Management gets 8.5. Founder-led, aligned, and disciplined so far. Overall score, 7.78 out of 10. My verdict? Goodman is an AI infrastructure compounder, but it looks fully priced unless the pipeline converts cleanly. Here are the 3 things I would watch over the next 12 months. First, the FY26 full-year result in August 2026. The big question is whether Goodman hits its guided 9% EPS growth. If it misses, the market may question whether the HY26 weakness was only timing. Second, hyperscaler CapEx. Watch Microsoft, Amazon, and other major cloud providers. If they keep investing heavily in AI infrastructure, Goodman's pipeline looks more supported. If they slow down, the market will worry. Third, power bank utilization. 6 gigawatts of secured power is valuable optionality, but investors should watch how much of that power is actually committed to active projects and signed customers. That is the difference between future potential and future earnings. So my final view is this. Goodman is a high-quality ASX business with a powerful AI infrastructure angle. But at this price, execution matters. It is not a simple bargain. It is a quality compounder that still needs to prove the pipeline can turn into earnings. If you found this useful, subscribe for more calm, practical ASX analysis. See you in the next one.